and the omnibus. So I was forced into the Archers when I was a child. And look, it's come back to bite me later on. I'm awash with this stuff.
The Archers is the world's longest-running radio show, with more than 15,000 episodes broadcast. Despite being a rural flavor show, The Archers is recorded in the heart of...
Welcome to the Deep Dive. You've brought us a really fascinating set of sources today. Feels like this high-stakes domestic drama, playing out in group chats, on farms.
Yeah, absolutely. It's like a pressure cooker. And these sources, they show us three main conflicts happening all at once, really revealing the cracks.
Right.
So you've got this very sudden holiday debate that's testing everyone. Then there's the really grim financial stress, right after a death. And simmering underneath, this power struggle over the family business. It's quite a mix.
And the contrast is stark, isn't it? Some of the Rory, Adam, Kate, Alice, they're in this fast-paced text debate about, well, luxury and impulse buys.
Well, David.
Yeah, exactly. Well, David is described as looking absolutely knackered. He's just dealing with the raw physical reality of running the farm after losing his father.
It makes every little decision feel huge, doesn't it? Whether it's about a 6-year-old missing school or just trying to find a document on a laptop, the emotional weight is immense.
Okay, let's unpack this, maybe starting with that urgent castle question.
Yeah, that's a good place to kick off. So the setup is Rory finds this amazing deal, a Scottish castle holiday. Huge discount.
Sounds great initially.
Right, but the catch is the date's moved. It's not 2027 anymore, which was, ridiculously far away.
Safe, hypothetical.
Exactly. Now it's like 3.5 weeks away, middle of November.
Wow. Okay, that immediately changes things. And Adam jumps right in, doesn't he? Objects straight away.
He does. His big concern is his son, Xander, who's 6. Adam admits the kid already tries to get out of school, faking a sprained wrist and things like that.
Yeah, been there.
So Adam's point is pulling him out for a week, especially now, it just sets a terrible precedent.
Makes sense. But Alice, she seems to have the strongest reaction.
Oh, definitely. She draws a really firm line. Her daughter, Martha, is in reception, and Alice is absolutely not taking her out of school for this trip. No way.
And she has to defend that choice, right?
Yeah.
Because Kate kind of dismisses reception as just.
Sand and songs, yeah. Kate's very casual about it.
But Alice pushes back hard.
She does. She insists they're doing proper learning, literacy, maths, and maybe more importantly, she says Martha is working hard to form key relationships. She points out Martha already struggles a bit, and she refuses to make that initial school experience any harder just for a cheap holiday.
So it becomes a clash of values, really. Alice prioritizing stability and education.
Exactly. She's the immovable object here. And Kate is, well, she's all about seizing the moment. Pure impulse.
Yeah, she's the one joking about the baby being born in the castle.
Yeah.
Naming it Macbeth or something.
Macduff, yeah. It just shows how differently they're approaching this whole situation. Their priorities are worlds apart right now.
But hang on, Rory says something like, this is a democracy, Adam, not a dictatorship.
He does.
Does that feel a bit like trying to force it? Like he knows it's a tough sell, so he's trying to use a vote to push past the objections.
I think so, yeah. It feels like he's trying to leverage the people who can go to outweigh the ones who absolutely can't. Trying to bulldoze the issue with numbers.
And does it work? What's the sort of the vote count?
Well, it's pretty messy. You've got Lillian and Justin, they're keen. Up for it.
Okay.
Tom and Natasha are in too, but that's easy. Their twins aren't in school yet.
Right.
But then Pat and Tony, they say it's only doable in theory. They might struggle to get time off work, find cover.
So the real sticking point is the school thing. Adam and Alice.
Absolutely. Their objections basically make it impossible for the whole group, realistically. It highlights how, in a big family like this, certain commitments just aren't flexible. The school schedule becomes this non-negotiable thing that overrides a spontaneous discounted trip.
It's interesting, that debate about escaping for a holiday, while David is just miles away, completely swamped by this immediate crisis.
Yeah, and that's the perfect Brit, isn't it? While they're arguing about November holidays, David's just drowning in the sheer admin of grief. And his stress is overwhelmingly financial and legal.
Running on empty, planning a funeral, and he needs the will.
That one crucial document. And he can't find it because he can't get into his dad's computer.
Which is such a modern problem, isn't it? Everything locked behind a password.
It really is. And without that will, he can't start the probate process.
Right.
which means he can't access his father's money, can't sell assets legally, can't settle anything. He says himself it's all a bit mad. He's watching bills mount up, but the estate's funds are untouchable, locked away digitally.
And that cash flow problem is getting serious.
Yeah.
He mentions potentially putting the funeral costs on a credit card.
Yeah, which is just incredibly stressful.
Yeah.
And on top of that, he's physically exhausted, milking cows twice a day while dealing with all this grief and financial worry. The source says he looks absolutely knackered.
And the cows themselves become part of the problem.
Introducing the Archer's Mug, where elegance meets everyday comfort. Crafted from premium white ceramic, designed with vibrant peekaboo colors inside, simple, modern, and stylish. Start your day the Archer's way, with warmth, familiarity, and the comfort of voices you've come to love. As the stories unfold on the Archers, let this mug become part of your daily ritual, a small reminder of life in Ambridge. Practical for every home, dishwasher and microwave safe. Available in 2 sizes, 11 ounces and 15 ounces, designed to fit your lifestyle. Enjoy your favorite drink in a mug that connects you to Britain's most beloved countryside story, The Archers. For more information, and to order your very own The Archers mug, follow the link below and make it part of your daily routine.
They do. They're assets technically, but right now, they're just a cost. He's worried about paying the vet, Alistair, for a sick cow. He's desperate to sell them like today or tomorrow just to get some cash flowing.
Even offers mates rates.
Yeah, but the potential buyer points out, quite rightly, that David needs the best price he can get, not charity. It just paints this really bleak picture of how vulnerable things are financially.
It's a liquidity crisis, basically, triggered by grief and a locked computer.
Exactly. And it leads David to this really dark, cynical thought.
The line about farming.
Yeah. I think the moral of the story is, don't become a farmer, because you might not be able to pay for your own funeral.
Oof. That really hits home, doesn't it? It puts everything else into perspective. This isn't just about sadness. It's about a system potentially failing him.
It is, and David's very aware of his specific vulnerability. He says he's in a completely different boat because he's a tenant farmer.
That's a key detail.
Crucial. No land ownership means his exposure to debt is much higher. The risk is amplified. He actually says he fears his boat might be sinking. So the farm isn't just this emotional legacy. It's an immediate, serious financial threat to him right now.
So while David's just trying to keep his head above water day to day, the others are getting drawn into this battle over the farm's long-term future. Home farm management.
That's right. Officially, the setup is Adam and Rory as managers, but that's completely blown apart by what Adam reveals next.
The secret promises.
The secret promises. This is the bombshell. Adam says their dad, on the quiet, separately promised the management of Home Farm to him and to Alice.
Wow. So 3 potential managers. Adam, Rory, and Alice. All thinking they were chosen.
Apparently so. The father seems to have set them up for this massive conflict.
And Adam is understandably furious, especially about Rory.
Yeah, he's really pushing back against the idea that he and Rory are equal partners. He stresses Rory's just an apprentice, only weeks into the job. Adam's framing it based on experience, formal structure.
While Rory's response is more about
Ambition, potential. Rory genuinely believes he could do an amazing job once he's fully trained. So you have this clash, experience versus ambition, the official structure versus, well, Rory's confidence.
But then, just when you think it's an Adam versus Rory versus Alice thing, Kate jumps in.
Kate throws another spanner in the works. She asks, what about me?
Seriously?
Yeah, her argument is basically, if Dad was making all these secret promises to Adam, Alice, and Rory, why wasn't she included in those quiet chats?
Okay. Does she claim any farming expertise?
Well, she mentions her interest in plants and herbs and their healing nature. She admits it's not quite the same as traditional farming.
Right.
But her point is more about the process, I think, the secrecy itself. The fact that their father seems to have gone around making these individual conflicting promises, creating resentment everywhere.
It really sounds like the father, maybe trying to avoid conflict during his life, just told everyone what they wanted to hear.
Possibly, but the result now is chaos. He's basically engineered a situation where 3, maybe even 4 of his kids are set up to fight over the most significant family asset.
And all this tension, the money worries, the succession fight, the holiday stress, it sort of culminates at this family dinner, doesn't it?
It does. Kate cooks this big meal, Dal, rice, chapatis, sagaloo, cauliflower bargis.
Just sounds like a complex spread, which feels appropriate.
It's the perfect metaphor, isn't it? All these different intense elements on one table. The dal might be the core, the farm itself, but then you've got all these spicy, rich side dishes. The heat from the succession fight, the heaviness of the debt, the different flavors of resentment.
Yeah.
It's almost too much richness, too much variety to handle comfortably all at once. They're trying to digest this incredibly complicated mix of secrets and emotions together.
So if we try and pull all these threads together, what's the core truth emerging from these sources?
I think it's that under intense pressure, the grief, the money problems, the sudden decisions, the family structure starts to fracture. And that's when all the hidden stuff, the secrets, the long-held resentments, like dad promising the farm to 3 different people, it all comes bubbling to the surface.
Yeah, the castle fight, David's money struggles, the management battle, they're all just symptoms of this deeper instability, aren't they?
Exactly. And they're happening on different timelines all at once. You've got David's immediate critical financial danger. At the same time, there's this huge long-term crisis brewing over who runs Home Farm.
And the castle debate is sort of caught in the middle.
Yeah, it perfectly shows that friction between those tied to immediate unavoidable duties like the school run and those who are maybe looking for a quick escape, even if it's impulsive.
It makes you think about priorities. Rory's comment about the castle trip, who knows where we'll all be in 2 years? Given everything else that's going on, the precarious finances, these huge secrets about the farm's future, the sheer messiness of the father's planning is grabbing that spontaneous trip, that sort of carpe diem moment, actually easier than facing the future.
It's a really interesting question. Is the chaos of a last-minute holiday somehow more manageable than the weight of planning for a future that looks incredibly uncertain and, frankly, full of conflict?
Maybe escaping to a Scottish castle for a week seems less daunting than actually sitting down to figure out who really gets the farm.
It might well do.
So the final thought for you listening, what deep-seated issues, what complicated arrangements are you maybe pushing off, putting on the back burner for your own version of 2027? We'll leave you with that.
So what are you doing now?
Just getting ready for the next episode. Just
And,
moving mics around.
So what do you do?
I do the spot effects on the archers. Any
Are you what we
movements
call Foley then?
and- kind of. Yep. That's,
Okay. And these are all part of the paraphernalia of production.
Yep. That's the bull bar. That's,
This one.
yep. That's.
Haley so wanted to be in their own place when their baby came. It's due in 2 months. Not much chance of that now. No. I mean, it would have been a stretch for them financially, mind, but I just wish there was something practical I could do to help them, Caroline. I mean,
I think The Archers has had this immense popularity over the years, basically because it has always very accurately reflected the reality of life and living in a rural community at whatever